What to do? It's the Vulgar One, the Vulgar Son, the Vulgar Desperado representing the. And today I kind of wanted to give my thoughts, a little slight reaction here to this new Mario movie and pose the question, are video game movies the new comic book movies? But before we get into that, if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button. Would really appreciate it. Leave something in the comments if you will too. Thank you very much. Alright, so first and foremost, this trailer actually looks really good. Alright, now I'm not a big fan of a lot of the kid-friendly animated movies. Like, admittedly, some are good and some have some well writing, but how many fucking Minion movies do we need here before we get the point? They don't even talk. Alright, but, I am excited for this after seeing this trailer. Initially, I was like, Mario, I don't know about all that. I mean, like, on paper, it sounds like it could be a good idea, but in theory and in practice, you get a little worried here. But, I mean, the cinematography, the CG really is astounding on this. I mean, it looks fucking fantastic. Makes you wish that Nintendo was, having high quality games like a PS5 or an Xbox, whatever number they're fucking on. Because it's pretty. It's really, really pretty. And not to say that Nintendo has bad graphics, but with a higher performing machine, you can see some pretty impressive shit with your characters, even though Mario isn't that type of game. Doesn't really matter. It looks stunning. I mean, Bowser, the little Koopa Troopers, the little penguin dudes out here. And this scene was actually pretty funny. I'll admit, like, it did make me chuckle, and as many people have pointed out, Jack Black, which I didn't hear until a homie told me later, as Bowser is really good. It was a really, really good couple scenes. Like, he's really putting his all into it. I thought that was actually pretty cool, like this looks really, really good. Then you get Mario here, and I mean, the Mushroom Kingdom looks astounding. Like, the details of it. Even Mario's face is more detailed than you would see in some of those games. It has a little bit more of a stiffness because it's a video game and he says like 7 different things. But I like it. I think visually it's amazing. Now, everybody's kind of losing their shit on Chris Pratt already, saying he doesn't sound Italian enough and blah. And honestly, like, he says a couple of lines here, and I think he sounded fine. It's not that big of a deal. When he's talking to Toad in this last scene that was just here, it sounded kind of like he puts a little into it, and I think that's okay. I think if anywhere this trailer fucked up, they should have had him just say, Mamma Mia! Like, right when he fell out that shit, like, you would have sold everybody. Nobody would have been losing their mind. I think it would have been great, right? But overall, I am excited for this movie. I don't think, so far, right? So far, I don't think it will suck. I think it will be actually pretty fun, entertainment, beautiful. Like, Mario, its story is, kind of simplistic. He's a plumber, gets pulled into the Mushroom Kingdom, gotta go save the princess, right? It's be very, very, very hard to fuck up, but pretty sure everybody's seen the new Scooby-Doo and Velma shit lately where we got all kinds of swaps in that, so you know what it is. Like, it's not hard for these studios to fuck up, but technically Mario is a Japanese property, so I think it will stay true to itself more than most American properties. I think also it's pretty exciting to see Luigi in his little Haunted Mansion bit. I don't know if him and Mario getting separated. It looks like from the beginning when they first get dragged into this world or something. I'm only speculating here, but I do think that's pretty tight to, kind of have that calling to Luigi's standalone thing. I think that it will be fun because obviously they're going to try to build a franchise and a universe around that. So I think that's kind of cool. Now, with all that being said, I pose the question to you, is it a good thing that video game movies are now becoming the new comic book movies? Every so often, every generation or so, there is a new fad and trend that takes over the movie screens. And I mean, look, I think even before comic books, it was probably vampires, right? And just like anything does, in the beginning, it starts off really well. I mean, look at what we have so far, and looking at this meme, you see where people kind of want to go with this. But, we've done Detective Pikachu. We've had really 2 Sonic the Hedgehog movies. And this Mario, honestly, does look like pretty promising. But knowing where you're at right now, do you really want to have these franchises go in the direction of where Marvel went. Now, that's not to say that we should just not make these kind of movies. Maybe there just needs to be, better handling of them, maybe even some better foresight, or maybe even just a better plan to stop, right? Because Marvel's problem is, and Star Wars, and, basically just Disney is, these motherfuckers don't know when to quit. All right, there are some things, artistically speaking, you just gotta give it up and move on to the next thing. And I mean, look, video game movies have had a hard time coming off the ground throughout many of these years, kind of similar to comic book movies. The first few bits weren't, that good, but there's some gems here and there. I mean, I didn't mind the original fucking shitty ass Mario movie, but I was a kid and it was just kind of cool to, see it in that live action, and the neo punk kind of gritty kind of style was kind of cool to me. But I mean, then you look at like The Rock's Doom or something like that, and it's really bad. But the first Mortal Kombat, and in my opinion, the second Mortal Kombat are really, really good. Not their most recent one. So, so again, hit and miss on this type of franchise, and I think it's a good thing because we got to get the fuck off the comic books. It's over. It's done. Like DC still has a chance because if you think about how many stories they've told in this entire like Marvel timeline, like they still got a lot of stories they can tell. They just need to find their path, but it might be a little too late for them. So in some ways, I would agree. It's a good thing to see this, new genre for us to make, new stories, because many people, hardcore gamers throughout all the years, could easily tell you that, video games have had better storytelling than movies for a long time. I mean, look at Final Fantasy, and admittedly, these games do have the benefit of being double-digit hours of playtime, so you can add in all this kind of story, but that's where I also kind of lean that this might not be the best move, because most of these game stories are really good because there's so much game to them. In the real world, like, you can only sit through a movie for maybe 2.5 hours, right? Sonic and Mario and Pikachu, you don't need as much time for that. But, you look at, well, I mean, you take The Last of Us, right? It's getting a TV show, which actually would make more sense for that type of story than a movie. Granted, they've already bastardized Last of Us, so I don't really give a fuck about their new one. I'll just be real on that one. But I do think, choosing the right format, you can kind of tell these stories. Whereas, like, the new recent Mortal Kombat, that is a bad example of making it for a movie when there's a lot of story in that one. There's a lot of story in Mortal Kombat, period. There's a lot of story in that movie where they tried to cram in a lot of stuff. They didn't know where they were going with that movie. The movie was trash, okay? So, if you maybe took that, even taking that story, I don't like the fact that they added a new character. That was dumb. Like, people should just be able to accept Liu Kang and Johnny Cage and Sonya and Jax as the main ones, right? But if you wanted to cram all that crap into one story, and like, oh, we're going to do another one, then we'll bring in Johnny Cage. No, like, should have just did a fucking TV show on HBO Max, and that would have sufficed for the Mortal Kombat craze. But now I'm not looking forward to their next movie. I'm looking forward to the next game, but not next movie. So I think when it comes to this shit, it's a bit hit or miss, and it depends on the way you're telling the story. With Sonic, Mario, and Pikachu, they're kind of point blank, straight to the point, where you live in the Pokemon world, you're in the Mushroom Kingdom, Sonic gets thrown to the other world, and you do what you do, So it's fun, it's a light adventure, and, no complaints when it comes to those movies. However, in the sense of making a franchise and universes, like if we're gonna go the Marvel route, or the fucking Star Wars route, with franchise after franchise and spin-off after spin-off and bringing back every fucking character and giving them a TV show, we're gonna have some problems here, like there's some real likability and easy money in the sense that these are, mainly directed at kids, but I mean, if you grew up with Mario, if you grew up with Sonic and Pokemon, like, that's my generation. Sorry about you. Like, we're going to go see these movies first day. Like, I understand kids like them too, but the people you created for in the beginning is your main target audience. Sorry about you. But I think it's going to be cool. I do hope for the future of movies. And maybe, you know what? Here's another question to pose. Maybe it's not so much video game movies, but it is Japanese products or, IPs coming to, live action and American adaptations, because Pokemon, Sonic, and Mario, while all video games, all are Japanese. And hell, there's a Gundam game or movie on the horizon, so like maybe this is the future in the sense that we're going to be looking at Japan for more storytelling. And hell, everybody's been saying just go watch anime anyways. So maybe that's the future. Maybe it's Japanese and not so much video games, or maybe it's a little bit of both. But what do y'all think? Leave something in the comments. I'm kind of curious on your opinion on it, if it's a good or a bad thing, if you're excited for it, if you think this movie is going to suck or blow. Hell, even tell me what you think about Chris Pratt's accent. I didn't think it was that bad, and you're playing a dangerous line trying to put on a voice nowadays. You already seen how many people quit their fucking jobs because, oh, I'm not the right skin color. I can't be Cleveland for anymore in Family Guy. Y'all know what it is. So leave your thoughts and opinions. I'll check them out. But y'all know what it is. Vulgar 1, Vulgar Son, Vulgar Desperado. Jabber Jaws. Peace.